All right, welcome to Candidate Conversations, where we get to know candidates in a candid way. Thanks for joining me, Craig. Let's hear about you, who you are, what you're running for, and we'll get into it a little bit.
Well, thank you so much, Skye. My name is Craig Herskowitz. I'm from Northport, New York. Graduated Northport Public High School, class of '99. I went to college at American University in DC, spending my summers back on Long Island, worked for the State Department at JFK Airport, fighting the LIE traffic every day. After I graduated college, I worked for Senator Kennedy on the Hill, and then back to Long Island to work for Congressman Steve Israel in his hot dog office. I went to law school at Quinnipiac in Connecticut. Again, spending my summers back on Long Island, working for the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office and clerking for a couple of Long Island judges. After law school, I moved to DC. My first job was with the U.S. Marshal Service and their headquarters. Then I went to the FBI, where I would forfeit assets to the United States and made sure FBI agents were following the law when seizing assets. Then I got recruited by the Department of Justice Criminal Division, the Narcotic and Dangerous Drug Section, where I led a financial investigation into a terrorist organization. And I interviewed leaders of a terrorist organization and was able to recover millions of dollars, which was used to compensate the victims of their atrocities. Then I got transferred to the asset forfeiture money laundering section. I led the Bernie Madoff victim remission case, where I allocated over $4.4 billion to the victims.
Wow.
And after 8 years in government in DC, I moved back to New York to work for JP Morgan Chase before being appointed assistant counsel to Governor Cuomo a couple months before the pandemic.
Okay.
And I was in charge of the financial service portfolio, so I oversaw legislation involving taxes, banking issues, and insurance issues. And then when the pandemic happened, it was all crisis management, but we did a lot of cool things that helped a lot of people. We implemented telehealth, waived co-pays for the vaccine, and yeah, it was just it was just crazy times. Working with the legislature, really seeing how the laws are made, and negotiating bills at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was definitely I definitely had a little bit of imposter syndrome at the time, but after working with the legislature, I realized I can definitely do this. And after I left the governor's office, I became a criminal defense attorney. I did a few homicide trials, lost them all. But I saw firsthand the bail reform laws in New York, and it's definitely different. Seeing the different sides from being a prosecutor and then a criminal defense attorney. And then I became a administrative law judge for the New York City Department of Finance, where I adjudicated cases where people owed money to the city.
Mm-hmm.
And then I resigned as a judge to run for Congress in the New York 1st District.
Okay.
I saw how dysfunctional Congress was and how important it was for Democrats to flip the seat. And I traveled all over Long Island and met a lot of people. And then after the primary, seeing firsthand how politics works, the money aspect, I just hated the fundraising and asking people for money. But it was definitely challenging and definitely exciting. And I got my name out there and made a good impression. And the Democrats were looking for someone to take on the Senate race in District 2.
Okay.
And a lot of the party leaders reached out to me and said, hey, we really like you. We think you'd be really good for this. And I wanted to be a team player, and it made a lot of sense. And so I switched races to the New York 2nd, which is Huntington and Smithtown, which includes my hometown of Northport. And and as of yesterday, I officially became the Democratic nominee. We got over 2,000 signatures to get on the ballot. And just so appreciative and thankful of the Huntington and Smithtown Democrats for their support and the volunteers to get all the signatures. And so it's been very feels really appreciated. I'm very very welcome. That people were really excited about our campaign.
Well, it sounds like you've been a public servant your whole life with this storied career in government at the federal and local level. So do you look at this as taking the next step in your career to actually being a legislator yourself?
Yeah, I was always excited about politics, and you see how dysfunctional government is, and how important it is that we need people with integrity to do the right thing, no matter what the consequences are. to a better society. And there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed, and we need we need problem solvers to address these issues, to work together to solve to address these really serious issues that people are hurting. Long Island, it's a very expensive place to live, and people are hurting, and they need real leadership. And the problem in Albany is now Long Island is not represented in Albany.
Mhm.
And so I think it's important that Long Island has real leadership in Albany. And given my background, I think I've definitely learned a lot, and I see that this is definitely something that I could do and that I can make a difference.
What would you say you're passionate about?
Like issues wise, or
In general, as a human,
look,
just
I mean,
get
I'm just
to know you.
yeah, look, I'm just I'm passionate about um just bettering the world. Like the big issue for me is the environment. Long Island, it's a coastal community. It's really important that we have clean air, clean water, renewable energy. Um, so I'm really passionate about saving the environment, making the world a cleaner, healthier place. And I just want people to be happy. I want people to be able to raise their family, and feel safe and secure in their environment, and just foster a friendly, cordial environment where everybody can
Yeah.
succeed.
Now, have you been up to Albany?
Yeah, so when I was in the governor's office, I would practically live in Albany all of March, negotiating the budget. So I would, my office was based in the city, but I would go up to Albany a lot. So I had an office up in Albany, and I saw firsthand how the laws are made, and um, how surprisingly how dysfunctional Albany is, um, and then how it is important that we have people to address the issues.
Yeah.
And because I feel like,
What do you think makes it so dysfunctional? Because it is a commonly said, sentiment that government is dysfunctional, Albany is dysfunctional. What do you think makes it so dysfunctional?
I think it's the politicians that we send. I mean, whether it's Albany or DC. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great public servants, and I've definitely worked with a lot of great public servants. But there are a lot of people who enter politics for the wrong reasons. To advance their personal career, or but when you have people into politics for the wrong reasons, then it's counterproductive to the success of society, and making laws. And so I think that's why it's important that we have people with integrity, both Republicans and Democrats, who are just willing to work together to solve the issues, and not resort to personal attacks and trying to one up someone, or taking the credit, or blaming someone. It's just really just working together to solve the issues. And I think,
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, right? Because if we were to talk to anyone in public office, they would definitely tell you that they're there for the right reasons, you know?
yeah, I think everyone, you know, I think a lot of people are. I mean, there definitely are a lot of people who are in politics for the right reasons. Um, and unfortunately, you got the ones who are not, that are making the most noise, and obviously on the federal level, it's like the Marjorie Taylor Greens, and are the ones who are getting all the attention. But there's a ton of great members of Congress who are trying to do the right things. But in Albany, it's just the legislature for the longest time was a part-time job, and people were treating it like a part-time job.
So would this
And
be your full-time job?
yeah, so now there's a brand new law that to raise the salary for state senators, and it precludes outside employment over $35,000. So now anyone who wants to be a senator or something, can't have another job. This is going to be their full-time job, and I think that's really important. It's really good, because they need you need to focus on constituent services, and listen to the community, and address all the issues, and not just listen to just a special interest.
As a
Because when I was in Albany, it was really the only people we were listening to was the special interests. And so I think it's really more important to talk to the community, and get the community involved.
Okay.
When you have conflicts, conflict, competing stakeholders, nothing ends up getting done. So when you involve the community, when you involve the experts, then you're able to make stronger
Yeah.
laws. But
It's
a lot
about,
of times I'm sorry.
I was going to say it's about public-private partnerships and compromise. And I think any form of
Right.
extremism is bad.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then I think, originally when I got into politics, I wanted to oppose the extremism on both ends of the spectrum.
Good.
And yeah, and it's also when I see when making laws, like, I mentioned that, we're making laws at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, you would think that there'd be more thought, more people weighing in, more people getting involved. But it's more like, hey, let's just pass a law just because, we want to take credit for passing a bill, and then let's just see what happens. And they don't realize all the hidden problems that are, that are there. Like, with the bail reform bill, I mean, very good intentions, but obviously there was a lot of issues that, the Democrats didn't realize, after the bill passed.
Yeah, so
That,
let's just, not that I want to get into policy, because this is supposed to be short and sweet and cute and
yeah.
candid. Since you mentioned bail reform, and since you are a lawyer and you understand legislation, what needs to be done to correct that? Because it is something, whether or not it's true, right? The public has sort of hijacked this narrative that Democrats are responsible for bail reform and Democrats are responsible for homeless people and criminals on the streets. Like, Democrats are responsible. That's sort of like the one segment narrative that we've run away with. So how do we come back from that?
Yeah, and that's just messaging. I mean, Republicans are just so much better at messaging than Democrats are. And I saw firsthand how the bail reform bill works. And the purpose of bail is to ensure the person's return to court. In this country, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. So you have the presumption of innocence. So all the judge is really looking at it, is this person going to return to court? And most people return to court, no problem, no issues.
Mhm.
But there are that few people that that get released on their own recognizance and cause more problems and get rearrested. And that's what the the New York Post is going to focus on. That's what the Republicans are going to focus on. It's all that one person that that got released and then committed another harm. And Democrats did put it in a fix with the bail reform law, which includes harm on harm, which then gives judges judicial discretion to impose bail if someone commits a second harm. And that can be anything. Let's say you rob a CVS and you get released, and then you rob another CVS while you're out. The judge then has discretion to impose bail because that's the second harm. So I think Democrats did fix a lot of that, but they lost the messaging war. Lee Zeldin ran a really strong campaign for governor, and his focus on crime, and but crime has been down. We Long Island's a very safe place. But again, it's just the messaging, and same thing, with the migrant, crisis. Democrats are the ones trying to solve the issue. They passed, working on a bipartisan bill in the Senate, and Republicans wanted to keep on using it as an attack message, to attack Democrats. So they vetoed their own bill, and so the Republicans had no interest in solving that issue. They wanted to use it as as attack message. So, but again, most migrants that are coming to the country, they come. Coming to the country seeking asylum is legal. And most migrants, they want to work, they want to pay taxes. We want them to work, we want them to pay taxes. We have hundreds of thousands of vacant jobs in Long Island that we want these migrants to work. And it's better for the economy, it's better for society. But you have that one migrant that comes and commits a crime, and then it's all migrants are bad. And that's just, it's wrong. It's like, it's offensive. It's not appropriate. I mean, these are good people looking for better lives, and contribute to society. And, we should, welcome them.
So you think
and not use them.
overall, we have a messaging problem, a communication and messaging problem. Specifically, you believe the Democrats have a communication and messaging problem.
Yeah, Democrats are terrible at messaging. Absolutely terrible.
So wait, before my final question, this is a question. What are you, Craig, doing to combat that, knowing that you believe Democrats have communications and messaging problems? You're running as a Democrat in the state Senate, which already has this, scarlet letter because of bail reform. What are you doing differently to correct the narrative?
Yeah, and that's why, we're running a strong grassroots campaign. We're trying to talk to as many people as possible, and reaching out to the community, listening to people, reaching out to communities that feel ignored and haven't been, feel frustrated with the process. And I get their frustration. Like, I'm frustrated too. And so, I'm listening to people of Republicans, Democrats, Independents. Like, I just want to listen to everyone, make sure they feel heard.
Okay.
And they appreciate that. And then when you talk to people, everyone, most people, they're all good people, and we're all trying to do good things. And maybe we're getting information from different places, but everyone's got a different background, everyone's got different beliefs. We just got to respect, everyone's different beliefs, and again, work together as a community.
Right.
And I think when you work together and respect each other's beliefs, and it's incredible what we can accomplish.
All right, and this is my final question. What is a lesser known fun fact or passion or hobby of yours that you haven't spoken about before that you would like to let us know about?
Passion. So I collect
Hobby, fun
president.
fact, yeah. Okay, tell us.
I collect presidential memorabilia. A lot of autographs of presidents. I collect Venetian glass. So I'm not artistic, but I know good art when I see it. Um, and yeah, and now and I have a 2-year-old nephew now that I spend a lot of time bonding with him and trying to force friendship on him. And I think he's warming up to me now. So he just started saying my name, which is really exciting. And yeah, it's kind of like you want to make this country and state better for our kids and for our future. And there's I definitely have a lot of concerns about the direction the country is going.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I think it's just important that we just try to do the right things
Okay.
and work together.
Well, we'll be following along the campaign trail to see what happens with you, Craig, running for State Senate District 2. Thanks for joining us on Candidate Conversations.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I really appreciate it.